1 of the Redneck Country podcast. You're on with Real Redneck Todd Millard, and of course, we've got the almost guy, Real Redneck Bill. Tom, Bill, are you there?
I am here, and it's a beautiful night for a podcast.
Is it a beautiful night for a podcast?
Oh, it's an absolute beautiful night for a podcast. I'm sitting here in a brand new pair of coveralls that my wife, insulated coveralls that my wife got me for Christmas, and boy, am I comfortable. Well, yes, it's a beautiful night for a podcast.
She's like, how can I make Bill more manly? I know. I'll get him some insulated coveralls.
Yep, and a new pair of Crocs.
Oh, not knitted slippers. Oh, you're probably making them for yourself right now as we talk.
That's it. Yeah, I can multitask, unlike some people. Yeah, that's it.
Unlike some, only 2% of the population, believe this or not, Google it. Only 2% of the population, something like 73% of the people in the world think they can multitask, but truly only 2% of people can absolutely multitask.
But that's still 140 million people in the world.
Look at you with the quick math.
See,
how did you come up with that?
I was born at night, but it wasn't last night.
So you know the population of the world off the top of your head. You were able to go,
why I know that?
2% of the population of the world is this?
You know why I know that?
Because yesterday 1.5% is knitters.
No,
and so
yesterday, my son said to me, he said, Dad, did you know that if 1% of the world only found you attractive, that would be 70 million people? I'm like, I can do simple math. If it's 2%, then it's 2 times 70. And that's where I came up with the number.
Which I would then follow up with, what percentage of the population of the world is blind?
It depends on
75% of those people that found him attractive.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Hey, who else do we got there? Because you failed to introduce your
trying
dad.
to burn you as well as my father, the patriarch of Redneck Country, Real Redneck Todd Millard. That is your mic hot.
It's hot, and it's a beautiful night for a podcast and a walk over.
Good deal. And you get supper there tonight, or are you fending for yourself?
No, I've fended for myself at home. Even my wife was out, so I got out what I love best, Christmas leftovers.
You told me that they were slowly dissipating.
They are. They're slowly going. And
that's a big word.
A little bit at a time.
Hold on. Dissipating.
Yeah.
I'm cranking her out.
Almost gone.
Well, yeah. You know what I had for dinner tonight? I had another one of these box meals. They just will not go away now.
What you had tonight?
Well, I had some meatball thing with mashed potatoes and corn, spinach. I don't even. It was great. It was fantastic. But it turns out that if you don't hit that cancel button fast enough, they will send you one. And then if you think that
did you
got
sign
that
up yourself?
No, not this guy. The almost guy's wife signed up for one 3-pack free trial thing sent to the house.
Why did you talk to me? I could have told you how to do it.
Yeah, well, so we got the first 3 ones. I think, okay, fine. That's not a problem. Then I got a $113 charge on my credit card.
Oh,
what's this for?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I forgot to cancel it fast enough. I'm like, okay. That's fine,
your non-hunting tip from the Redneck Country podcast is, okay, so A, you have an email address, which you can make lots, by the way. Email addresses, go to gmail.com, go to outlook.com. Anyway, if you don't know how to do that, well, you probably don't even know how to find the podcast. So create the email, you sign up, and you get the discount or whatever that is there, right? So, but the next one is going to be, so like they'll do it where you get 65% off your first week. The second week you get 40% off. And then the third week you get 30%. And then the fourth week is full price. And then it rolls on. If you do not cancel, it just automatically goes. And if you do not pick your meals, it will automatically pick for you. So the key to do it.
I got.
Yes. So the key to do it is you do the order and you do your first meals that you pick right away. You go and you say, postpone next week's, skip, because you don't want to cancel that one right away, because if you cancel right away you don't get your first one. So
I'm not interested in
skip,
carrying this thing on. This is like,
but this is it. I'm telling you how to do this. So you say skip, and you postpone the meal for a week. You don't do the next week. And they'll say, it might even ask you, why are you skipping this one? If you care to share with us, no reason, vacation, whatever. You say vacation, whatever. So it will skip that week because you can completely entitled to skip it. Now the pressure's off. Now you don't have to go, okay, I just got mine delivered this week. Now I got to cancel right away. Now you have 2 weeks to cancel it because you've skipped the week in between. You can even skip the next 2 weeks if you want more time. Yeah. Then you go in and you say, now I cancel because I got my first box delivered. Then you want to do it again under the discount with the 65% off or whatever the heck it is. Then you just start another email address and do it again.
This is your tip for the people that are, I feel like I'm in like the 1980s when you get 12 CDs for a penny. And then now you have to buy, 4,000 of them to get out of the club. This is not what I was signed up for. But I've had some good meals. I'll tell you that for sure. I've had some good meals, but they can go away now. No more food delivered to my house, please. No more food.
Yeah, see, I've got it on lockdown. I don't do it all the time, but I'll do it from time to time. Depending on what deals they come out with, right? For me, you're right. $110 for 3 days or whatever is ridiculous.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it feeds 4 people in our house with a little bit of leftovers because, Violet doesn't eat much. But at the same time, if this was the only thing we were buying, I don't think it would be terrible. But like I said before, I don't know. That's fine.
You need a break. Yeah, you can't just keep rolling and rolling and rolling. Nope, totally agree.
Anyways, that's what I had for dinner tonight, man. So,
right on.
Did you guys have good Christmases? I should have asked.
Awesome Christmas. We had some laughs, some surprises. We had some fun. Yeah, it was great. In fact, I tried to pull a fast one on Todd, and a year ago November.
This is awesome.
When he was down dragging deer out, that wasn't this deer hunt. It was last November's. He put up a couple woodcock along the creek. And so he said, once we tagged out, he says, I'm going home getting shotgun. And he said, I'm going to go down there and I'm going to hunt woodcock. So he wasn't down there now.
Well, it's because walking to the stand one morning, I put a couple woodcock out, but you're deer hunting, right? You don't want to go down there with a shotgun. And then on my way out the next day or the day after or whatever like that, I put some more woodcock out, and I'm like, they're pretty rare around here, right? Like it's tough to get on them in our area. So I'm like, I've never shot one. I've had them buzz me in the tree stand, but I'm like, we tag out by Saturday, I'm coming back down with the 20 gauge side by side, and we are smoking some woodcock.
So he was in there. He got a pair. He got a double. Now he said that he really whacked one hard. Like he really.
It was feathers. I blew it up. 10 feet off the end of the barrel. That thing jumped up. I was on it.
Anyway, he managed to get a pair, and the one that he blew apart was pretty messed up. So
it was really messed up.
He decided he'd better eat that one, but he put the other one in the freezer, wrapped it all up nice, and he said he always gets the very first bird or very first anything of any species, he gets it mounted. He gets it taxidermied. So he put it in the freezer. And so come September, late September, early October, I come over one day without him knowing it, and I rummage through his freezer September this year, until I found it.
There's a lot of stuff in there too.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, I can't.
Like aside from being loaded with venison and goose meat, there's still a turkey in there?
Yeah, I came across a turkey.
There's a turkey.
I knew that wasn't a woodcock.
there's rabbit. There's chucker. I think I ate all the bobwhite quail. There's some pheasants.
I came across the black duck you lost.
There's a black duck in there waiting to be mounted. There's a goose. A Canadian goose, greater Canadian goose, with a white patch on its head. And so I kept that. There's deer legs in there, I think. Are they still in there?
I didn't see them.
What do you got deer legs for?
Turn them into bookshelf ends or gun holder.
Oh, yeah. You're crafty enough to do that, I can tell.
I know people.
Yeah, exactly.
So anyway,
they've been in there for a couple years.
I took the woodcock home, put it in my freezer. I called our famous taxidermist, Dave Snook.
You're going to mention his name after this? He might not be our taxidermist anymore.
It was a miracle. So anyway, I told him what I wanted. I said, can you get it done by December 11th? That's his birthday. No way. I said, what about Christmas? I'll guarantee it for Christmas. I said, well, that's only another 10 freaking days. I mean, he said, I won't guarantee it for the 11th. I'll guarantee it for Christmas. Okay, Dave. So anyway, that's why I was so excited when you called me a day before his birthday and said you had the hide done. So that was perfect because I was figuring on one or the other, right, for his birthday, the other for Christmas. So anyway, Dave calls me and he says, okay, I got this bird out of the freezer. Send me some pictures how you want it. So I sent him some pictures. In fact, when I dropped it off, I showed him some pictures. You want me to send these to your phone? He said, no, I got it. I see how you want it. Then he calls and he says, send me some pictures. I said, Dave, you told me you had it. He says, well, I don't have it. He says, send me some more pictures.
Him and Dad are buddies, by the way. So this is the camaraderie conversation.
Yeah. And his wife is saying, for Pete's sakes, Dave, he was down here. You told him he had it.
Good old Kathy.
Yeah, Kathy. So anyway, he says, after another couple of days goes by, and he says, I don't know if I'm going to do this bird. I said, what do you mean? You guaranteed it for Christmas. No, I don't mean time-wise. This bird's pretty messed up. I said, no, that's the good one. Well, it ain't the good one. If this is the good one, I'd hate to see the bad one. And I said, don't care. It's the first bird. We don't care what it looks like. It's his first woodcock. So
yeah, I've got a chucker on the wall with no tail because the dog chewed the tail off on the way back to me.
I said to him, let's shoot another one. He said, no, that was the first one. That's the one I don't care what it looks like. That was my first one. So I said, it's his first one. Just mount it. Taxidermy it. Okay, I'll see what I can do, but I'll call you. So I get another call a few weeks later. Okay, you got to come down and look at this bird. I'm not coming down to look at the bird. I'm telling you, just do it. He says, but you got to see it. I don't want to see it. Just do it. I'm counting on it for Christmas. I already gave him the hide for his birthday. So do it. So anyway, another week or two goes by and he says, I don't know about this. He says, I got parts in my hand and the head's in my right hand. And I said, Dave, I don't care if you got to glue the head on.
Stick them together.
Yeah, I don't care if you got to glue the head on. Just do it. I think we should just throw it out. You're not throwing it out. Don't care what you got to do. Do it. He says, okay. So 3 days before Christmas, I call him. How are we making out? Well, I'm just trying to figure out how to put it on this board here. And I'm thinking, okay, he's trying to figure out how to get it on the board and make it look like it's flying type thing. He says, so come on down this afternoon. Okay, so I go down this afternoon and Kathy closed the cheese shop. She's retired. Dave's retiring in the end of December. So I go in there. I'm having a nice visit with him. We're wearing our masks and Kathy's enjoying her retirement, trying to help Dave get cleaned up on the jobs he's got. And so he says, well, there it is. And he points to the bird. It's a flat piece of...
Hold on. I got this. Okay. Picture, so it's Christmas time. The angel on top of your Christmas tree.
Yeah.
So how it would be like our wings out, and it's full-blown angel with its wings out with a beak.
You take a slice out of a log.
Like a vampire.
You take a slice out of a log and you got a flat piece of nice board, right? Nice round piece of board.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's kind of oval. And it looks like this bird was flying away from you and you took that board and caught him and slammed him right on the back of the bird. And he just kind of flattened out and stuck to that board backwards.
It's like a scarecrow bird. It's like an angel on a tree, half and only with no back. Like it just stuck there, like a wings out, and a beak, and a huge beak because it's a woodcock.
And the head is glued to the board. The back of the head is glued to the board, and the beak sticks straight out. The arms are out, or the wings are out like the wings on an angel. And then the body goes down flat, and then there's the legs glued to the board, and that's just what it looks like.
That sounds like the ugliest thing that you'd ever see.
I will send you a picture, Bill. I have neglected to do so because I was waiting for the podcast.
I said
you needed the verb. I couldn't even text you the verbiage that needed to be said to explain what had happened.
It sounds like it got run over by a car or something.
Oh, it's flat, dead flat minus the beak. The beak sticks out.
I said, Dave, and he says, that there is a miracle. That took me longer. He says, and the wings are out. I said, okay, take it home. Well, I've got to wrap it now, and the wings are sticking. I got creative. I cut a box open with the wings through the sides, and I wrapped it up really nice, and I set it separate. And I thought, and Glenda says, "Are you really giving him that?" I said, "It's his first bird." I said, "It's not going to be the great gift I thought it was. Like it was going to be my favorite gift." But anyway, Dave and I laughed about it. And I thought Todd will laugh about it. But it was his first bird. So I picked this up partway through gift opening on Christmas morning. I mean, we're having a great time. We got a pile of gifts and we're handing them out. And I thought, okay, everybody's in a good mood. It's time to hand the bird out. So I said, "Todd, I got to hold this. And you got to rip the paper open carefully." And
he made Jen record it.
Yeah, because I wanted his expression, right? He says, "Why? Is something going to jump at me? Am I going to get whipped cream in the face?" No. I'm not like that. You know I'm not like that. I'm not going to mess you up. Like this, you got to be careful when you open that. And he gingerly ripped the paper away, and here's this cardboard cutout laying kind of like a tent over it, and it's laying in a box that I'm holding underneath with the sides cut out so the wings stick out. So he sees the tips of the wings, and he lifts the cardboard off, and he was, "Is that my woodcock?" All excited. I said, "It sure is." So he went, "Oh, look at that, Jen. That's my first woodcock." And Jen says, "How do you know?" Anyway, we laughed. And he says, No. Glenda says, "Dave wanted to throw it away. Should have let him throw it away." And Todd said, "No, that was my first bird. I'd have been upset if I didn't have my first bird."
It's a story now, and now it's even more of a story.
Yeah, and that's what he said Christmas morning. And then one of
I
the
shot
kids
it so good, couldn't even get a taxidermy. 2 of them so good. Oh, if Dave's seen the other one, I was taking it apart.
I actually said, I stopped him and I said, "Okay, did you freeze both birds? Did I get the wrong one?"
No, I ate one.
And he says, "No, that's what he said. No, I ate one."
But you sure didn't eat the good one?
Oh, trust me, I did, because there wasn't much meat there, and I really didn't have to clean it a whole lot.
But he said,
Turn it inside out.
Pretty much.
Said there was no back at all. There was no back at all. He says, and one of the kids says, "What's that thing sticking out from the board?" "That's his beak."
There's no respect in the work that goes into that. I'm sure it took him hours to make it look like that.
And stop and think about it. His name goes on it. It's going to be on the wall. Who did that for you?
And now he's on a podcast, Dad. He's going to love you.
Yeah, no. You're going to say, "Oh, Dave Snook did that." Okay. He must be a good
He's
but
retiring. He doesn't care.
When you hear the story, like he did not want to do it. He throw it away. He did not want to do it. He did what he could with what he had. Like he was a trooper. He did it, and then he knew I wanted it. He says, "There you go." So,
well,
I believe.
Like to see a picture of this.
I'll send you one. I believe he wouldn't have done it for someone like other than a close friend.
Yeah,
because he wouldn't want it out. Well, he wouldn't want it out in the wild with his name on it, right? And it just he wouldn't have done it. Yeah. He's that particular.
So I told. You called him yet? I told Todd to call him and thank him for it. I got to call him because he'll be wondering.
I'm going to call him all upset. "What did you do to my woodcock?" I have what is it, 13 or 14 now? 14 turkeys that he's done for me throughout my house.
Oh, and I got that many.
And yeah, like he's done my deer. I got a snow. He didn't do the snow goose.
Did my deer?
Yep. Yeah, like he's done a lot for and he did a lot of our other upland game birds, like my chucker and all that. So he knows my bob white quail.
It's not that he doesn't have the skill. He just didn't have the material to work with.
He's got the skill. But he knows. Like he knows when I bring like the chucker with no tail. He knows. Get that sucker. That's my first chucker. Yeah, I don't care if it's got no tail. I don't care. Well, I can get some feathers. No. I don't want somebody else's feathers stuck on my bird. That's how it was.
In fact, without a word of a lie, this happened this year on one of the mornings of the turkey hunt. It was a few days before we got one down, and he had his granddaughter. He was slowing down, and he had his granddaughter with him, and he was playing with his granddaughter. She was sitting on his lap. He was reading or something. The phone rang, and Kathy said. He said to his granddaughter, "Hold on, that's Don calling me." And he picked it up and he said, "Hello, Don." I said, "Hi, Dave." I said, "How did you know it was me?" He says, "I just knew it was you. You got a turkey down." Isn't that something? Yeah.
Because he knew you were hunting with me that day.
There you go.
And it was my
I
turkey.
don't mean to sound arrogant or anything, but
Don't mean to sound arrogant or cocky, but he knew I was coming down to get a turkey mounted.
It's funny you say that about the feathers on the tail. My dad, he shot a buck a few years back, and he shot it right through the neck, and it dropped. And he wanted that bullet hole to be in the hide, but the taxidermist closed it up and just hit it. And he said that was part of the story. You know, if that hole was there as much as it could have been in the mount, but he didn't tell him to leave it. He just assumed he would, and sure enough, every time he looks, we've talked about it a few times. I wish he had left that hole there. That tells a story as to how that deer was shot.
It's a character.
Yeah. The precision accuracy, like I did on a rug that I just got done.
Yeah, I can't prove that mine wasn't a roadkill.
That's right.
But anyway, I had a great Christmas morning. You know, I collect die cast, right? A lot of automotive, and there's this company that makes replica die cast motors, engines, and I forget the scale, but they're like 10, 11 inches in diameter, like square, you know, like they're full detail and everything turns. You turn the flywheel and everything turns, the pulleys and the belts and everything. They're just beautiful. Well, I got looking on the website this year and discovered they put out 5 new ones. So I put the feelers out and I said,
put the feelers out. If we didn't get them for him, he was going to buy them himself. That's how it goes. He normally buys himself the gifts, puts them in the closet, and then says, talk to your mother, go down the hall, pick something out and wrap it for me. Pay her. Yeah. Price list is with
Makes it easy for you.
Price list is with the gifts. And then when he unwraps, he says, oh, just what I wanted. Well, I hope so. You bought it yourself.
Yeah.
So anyway, I got these 5 motors. Well, you saw the room. You've seen the room down there. And okay, I can't get them in. I had to really do some rearranging, some cleaning out. So I spent some serious hours down there today. Had lunch and went back down there, and I moved stuff around the walls, rehung stuff, and I managed to get all of these motors together. I think I got about 9 of them now. All of these motors, 9 or 10, all together in a row, and they are beautiful. I got a Hemi dragster motor. I got a Ford dragster motor, all fully blown. I got 2 street rod motors, one's Ford, one's Chev. I got all these. It's just gorgeous. And that, where I moved some of the motors from, that left room now for the new die-cast car. And Todd found me a die-cast, a place that sells die-cast miniature rifles.
And one third scale.
1/3. You build them yourself.
Oh, that's neat.
And Sergeant Gunner.
Goatguns.com.
Yeah, and Sergeant Gunner is a goat. And it's goat bobblehead. He got that for me. It's Goat Sergeant Gunner. It comes with a couple stickers. It comes with goat guns and then the sticker of what the gun is. And this is a sniper rifle, that light white colored camo, but you build it. And the little miniature bullets, there's 3 little miniature long bullets that go in the clip. The clip snaps in the gun. The bolt works, like once you get it built. And it has
That's neat.
Yeah, it has a bipod on the front that comes down.
They're little replica guns. Now, my love is shotguns, but they don't have shot. It's all like kind of military type weapons, right? So or guns. So I got the closest thing to a hunting gun with the one sniper rifle.
Yeah, it was a sniper. It's really cool, and so.
But it is neat.
So I have room now to put that there with Sergeant Gunner and a sticker and. Who you gave me that? No, my son-in-law gave me. You know these pop icon heads you see all over the place. They go movie stars and all this stuff. Well, he actually found me a Rat Fink pop icon head.
Oh, that's neat.
And he knows that I'm into hot rods and Rat Fink from the 50s and 60s, and so I got one of them. So I got that on that shelf on the opening that I made. So all my new stuff is there with Sergeant Gunner. And he also found me a Rat Fink Advent calendar. It's about it's a little bigger than 11 by 18. It's maybe 11 by 18, something like that. You know these Advent calendars you buy for the kids and they punch them out and there's a chocolate? Well, this is marked out in squares. When you look at it, it's a plastic case. And when you through the plastic, you can see the cover of issue number 3 of Rat Fink Comics. And that's what's in there. And you open the plastic case. Well, that cover is marked off in squares. And you punch out each square, and there's a Rat Fink toy in each one. Now, I'm not opening it. It's going to stay as a collector's item, but it's down there. So my collectibles went up, what I feel, really wow this Christmas.
Yeah. That's good. It's good. More space in that room for more things in the future.
I don't have, and I put up the rest of the stuff that I got. I got a bunch of other smaller die casts. I actually now do not have 1 inch of space left. I mean, I am maxed out.
Your wife will be happy.
Yeah, well, she says, why don't you take a wall out? I said, yeah, that'll give me more space. To take a wall out, there's a whole wall stuffed on.
That's right.
Like, I need to put walls in. So
that's it.
Yeah, I might.
Good grief.
Yeah, I don't know. I might move to another room now. I don't know. That room is full.
First world problems.
But it is.
That's exactly right.
It's awesome.
And I know, Todd. I don't know. We got a guest coming. I don't know how much time we got. If you can tell me about your new find, which I think was pretty cool.
It's freaking awesome, and I think we'll make time.
Pictures, videos.
It's all good.
Yeah.
I bought my kids for Christmas the Oculus Quest 2, and then because Facebook is so creepy and predictive and smart, if you will, they kept throwing these ads at me for different games, and knowing my browsing or my group membership, I'm assuming in that, it kept throwing up this clay hunt virtual reality.
This is going a sidetrack for a quick second here on that.
Okay.
I went last night and I saw a movie, Spider-Man. I've never spoke about Spider-Man before. 2 days ago when I started putting the feelers out. I got the movie tickets. I came home from the movie. I sat down, I went on my Instagram, and I looked at some of the reels that they picked for me, kind of my and
those concern me, Bill. Those two, I don't know if I want to know.
One, every other one was a Spider-Man reference of some kind. Was
it really?
Tom Holland. I'm not kidding you.
See,
and I had my phone. It was weird.
Oh, I tell you what, I don't drink. And so I left my phone sitting between my sister and my aunt one time, and I don't know where we were. This is like a year and a half ago, and they were talking about wine. And I remember they were talking about wine. I was talking to somebody else. I picked up my phone, and the next day, I was scrolling through Facebook. I was getting wine ads.
Yeah, you tell me your phone doesn't listen to you.
Yeah, right.
Anyways,
that's creepy as crap.
From your.
So I keep getting this. Well, so I'm like, I got to get this game. I mean, the kids are downloading, like they're finding the games they want with this Beat Saber, and they've got all kinds of cool games. And I mean, this thing is absolutely unreal cool. Like, I didn't think it would be this cool, but the virtual reality, like when you go into it, you're into it. I mean, you're in. It is amazing, I will say, and that's coming from a closeted geek. Not that I would admit it, but I grew up in the age. We grew up in the age of video games, right? Coming up, Nintendo to Genesis, to Super Nintendo to Nintendo 64. Like, we went through it all, so we know. And this thing's freaking cool. So anyway, I keep getting it. So I'm looking and I can't find it in the App Store on this thing, and it's driving me nuts because I screenshotted it on my phone when the ad popped up on Facebook, as creepy as that is. And then I went and I can't find it. And I'm like, why? I'm Googling it. Nothing. Clay Hunt VR. What is going on? So I'm typing in like gun club, shotgun shooting. Nothing is coming up. And so I'm getting irritated. So then I'm in church on this is bad. I'm presiding, but I'm sitting there and I'm like, I open up my phone, and I didn't say this out loud, but I'm on Facebook, and sure enough, there's the ad, and there's a link. Now, I didn't realize before there's a link. So I click on the link, and it takes me to this. Well, it's not the actual App Store. It's in development. It hasn't been really released yet, and it's made by Shotgun Games, which apparently is this. They made it specifically for this, like, because it's insane. So I'm like, there it is, download it. So we go to Mom and Dad's for lunch after church. We do that with the leftover Christmas stuff because this is Boxing Day, and then I finally get on and I've ordered it through the website. So it automatically shows up on this headset when I put it on, and I fire it up, and holy crap, are the physics spot on. I mean, on a 60-yard crosser, you've got to be so far out in front of that thing or swinging through it like a machine. Like, there better not be someone around or they're going to get knocked out if they step in your path of swinging that shotgun. And it is unreal how real the physics are.
What's the name of we might as well put a shout out or what is it? So shotgungames.com or what?
No, I'll have to post the link, baby, in the
you might have
in
to.
the gig. I posted it because I put it on somebody. Trying to think where I mentioned it. I put it on Clay Crusher on the group Clay Crusher, and then people were like, "Oh, I got to check this out." And a friend of mine from Wisconsin that he's ordered some shotgun or some trap shooting jerseys for their youth team from me. I designed them and fired them down. They look similar to the Redneck Country. They like the Redneck Country shooting jerseys that we made. So yeah. I made some for them and fired them down Manitowoc. And so his son said, "Hey, I got this." And I'm like, "Hey, they got it. They found it." And so people are like, "Hey, where'd you get this?" So I did post the link on there on the Clay shooting group, Clay Crushers on Facebook. And so I could find it. I can't think. It's in the development app. It's not been approved. So it's an app built for the Quest too. It just hasn't been approved and added to their store. So maybe because it's to do with guns, I don't know, but there's other gun stuff on there. I mean, there's friggin' Resident Evil 4 and stuff. You can go shoot zombies. But anyway, so I was able to get it through the development side, and then it's on there. But I tell you, man, it is absolutely, it's called Clay Hunt VR. I mean, if you Google it enough, you can find it. If you go to the Clay Crusher group on Facebook and then search inside there and say Clay Hunt VR, it will come up. The link I posted in there. It is absolutely the physics. You can do Olympic trap doubles, skeet, Olympic skeet. There's and then sporting clays, and they have a whole sporting clay course that you can do. You just go from station to station, and I mean, like, there's 2 traps per station, and report pairs, true pairs, like it's rabbits and crosser, like it's insane. Or there's also the challenge that you can go. I haven't even done all of the challenge. I played this thing for 3 hours on Boxing Day before we had to go to my in-laws for their Christmas. And I mean, my arms were killing me tired. I mean, I didn't put the gun, like when you're at a gun club shooting trap or sporting clays, you get a rest in between stations. You put the gun down between targets. I was not putting this sucker down. I mean, I'm just firing away. And so I was able to.
You realize there is no gun. There is no shells.
Right,
this is all in your.
But it's the physics are there. I mean, and I figured out it's all about mount when you're shooting a shotgun, right? Well, I was able to actually get these. So in my mind, I was holding my shotgun because you actually have to use the controller buttons each button controls a finger. So you got to use your hand to grip the shotgun with one hand and then grip the forestock with the other hand. And then it's got a ring on the top of the controllers. If I put that ring on my chin, it was just like my cheek was sitting on my gun stock. And so I was able to duplicate how I held it. And I'm telling you, the physics are just second to none.
I'm really interested to know that when you go to the gun club, if it helped you or hindered you.
Oh, it's gotta help. The lead, the swing, identification of targets, and then at the very end, there's dove hunting that you can do as well. And I mean, that's just a blast. How many doves can you shoot in a minute and a half? Go. And I mean, they're flying all around. The biggest kicker is in the sporting clays and the trap shooting and all that. So there's an over and under. You have options. You pick your chokes. So I used an over and under for sporting clays. I added a high rib because I shoot a high rib gun. So you can add a high rib as an option. Then you can pick your choke, right, from skeet or cylinder all the way to full. So 4 different choke options. I put full and full because, I mean, right. So, and did that. Well, then when I went to, you can turn on, I got tired of having to put the gun down, reload it between shots, because then you have to actually push the button that opens the gun up. Then you have to pick shells out of your pouch and with the other. And again, you're using those buttons as your hand to control your fingers to grab the shells and put them in the gun. And I mean, and then close the gun and hold the gun. And I got tired. So I can auto reload. The gun's automatically loaded. I don't have to take the gun down and I can just keep rolling, pull, keep giving me targets, baby. Let's go. On the dove side, you can't. So on the dove side, you have to reload or I'd be whacking more than 50 doves in a minute and a half, but you can't, because you got to reload. I've already unlocked the auto loader, but I mean, I don't use that. I would use it in the dove side. But
Yeah.
And just think, come dove season this fall, he can sleep until 9 o'clock, go dove hunting in his living room, and go back and have a nap.
there you go. Although they're not as tasty when they're virtual.
No.
But I tell you, the
Little
physics,
gamey.
the physics are second to
They're
none.
a little gamey. Come on.
Very well said, Bill.
I have not come over into this house in the last several days. Doesn't matter what time I come over or what for to stop in. And somebody is on that machine.
The headset's on. They got everything cleared out of the way, and they're
It's
playing.
never stopped. It's so much to do on it. They had me on a roller coaster and in Jurassic Park on Christmas Day. It is incredible.
It's insane. But that shotgun, the physics are just, I can't believe it. I thought, like, it was only $15 for the game. And I thought, okay, why not? Let's give it a try. And every shotgun game I've played is pretty hokey, right? I mean, you get the pro hunter thing. You can go turkey hunting and all this. And it's kind of, because it's not made by hunters. It's made by developers. This is clearly made.
This is different, eh?
Oh, absolutely. The company's logo is a trigger guard with a trigger. Almost looks like a cat's eye, but it's a trigger guard with a trigger. Shotgun Games. And I tell you, this thing's made by somebody that shoots shotgun, because the lead and the targets are different size, speeds, rabbits and batus, like you name it. The target presentation's there. And then 60-yarders that they're hard to see. They're like little specks out there. And I mean, you got to swing on them suckers so because they're going away. Like, it's insane. It is absolutely unreal. They got towers coming down and dropping on you. Like, and you got to be, like 3-4 feet below it to pull the trigger on that tower shot. But it was just like I was shooting my gun. I was hammering them right out the gate. It was unbelievable. Just because the physics are there. I'm telling you, it impressed me.
And they say a lot of the higher end competition stuff is mental anyways. So
that's right. And then, there's that as well.
And do that kind of stuff.
I was looking at that. They have a mental trainer for eye-hand coordination that they say a lot of athletes use on this thing. It's now being adopted by trainers for high-end athletes, pro athletes, to keep their hand-eye coordination up to speed. And so I might download that yet.
This is it's not a cheap venture though.
You know what? It's I think regular price is $450. Right now it's on for $400, 128 gig model. There's a 256 gig model. Honestly, we've got like 10 games on the thing and we still have like 70 gigs free. You don't need the 256 gig model. But regardless, it was on, I think it was on sale for $375 at Best Buy. And then I got a $75 gift card on Black Friday. I bought it. So I got it for $375. And then I got a $70 gift card to Best Buy. So really, I got it for like $305.
Yeah.
So
it makes it better when you can get that much off.
Yeah. And the games, there's not a game over $45.
Well, there you go.
So I'm not, we're not sponsored by anybody. And really, I don't like the company that owns it from the political side, but we won't get into that. But so I'm not supporting them in any way, but this thing is pretty cool.
And guess what else I got for Christmas? I got a Muller choke tube for my goose gun.
Did you?
I did.
Yes, he did.
A Muller choke tube. I've been talking about ordering one forever, and I opened this thing up, and oh my God, I got a Muller choke tube.
For his Benelli Super Black Eagle 2. Yep, decoy.
There's no more excuses.
No, that's what I said to him. No more excuses. Jimmy Muller came through on that one. No more excuses, Dad. You got to be dropping them like crazy.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Beautiful.
Thank you, Mr. Jimmy Muller.
Yep. That was awesome.
Oh, there you go.
And everything was outside. We had to do everything outside because of the
our COVID restrictions. We ate outside and put up tents with heaters.
12 by 20 tents. We had a Christmas tree in there, everything decorated. We had heaters. We even had a propane fire pit out on.
It was kind of nice, actually. It was kind of cool. It wasn't cold, so yeah, it was all right. Like there was a chill. I mean, we're in Canada, but it wasn't cold. So, and you had those heaters and stuff. It was kind of cool. I liked it.
We played card games for prizes and gifts. A couple of card games for prizes and gifts, and everybody had a blast. And everyone was gone by 10 or 10:30 Christmas Eve, and then we ate out there again on Christmas Day. It was just wonderful.
That's good. So, Bill, tell us about yours.
Hey, it's we had a great time. That's all I can say. We enjoyed it. Being at home here, Candace's parents came. We had a nice turkey dinner on the way up to Pembroke. Spoiled as usual. And I tell you, it's just nice being off work. And I wish we could get together. I wish we could get together with family a little bit more. do some traveling. But I do have to say one thing for sure, that we need to wish my brother a happy birthday. It's his 38th birthday today.
Is it his 38th? It's his birthday today? We should have had him on the podcast. Hot dog.
Enjoying a nice piece of cake and ice cream, I can guarantee you. Watching the Canadian Juniors hockey game.
A piece?
Yeah, well, I think that was just a start of more, but he'll be having a drink or two with TJ and watching the Canadian Junior hockey game right about now. And
started an hour ago, right? Yep. Well, happy birthday, Mr. Real Redneck J. Thom. That's awesome.
So, happy birthday, Jay.
There you go.
Maybe somebody get you some shooting lessons for Christmas or something. I don't know. Oh, I owed him that. Sorry, Jay. That'll get his blood pumping. Happy birthday.
Yeah, it will be. So.
Don't drive off the road right now when you hear that. You have an excuse now. You're getting older. You could just say you had a heart attack or a stroke or something.
Yeah, his eyesight's going and all that kind of stuff too. So, yeah, we'll get together sooner or later. I'm gonna finish up with a little bit of taxidermy I got going on for him from his turkey tail from the springtime. It's all done. It's just a matter of me not being full of VW projects and take the priority and put it on that for a day. Yeah, deer hides, other stuff, yeah. But anyway, so no, it was good. We enjoyed ourselves, and I got a few more days off before I go back, which I'm going to take advantage of tomorrow morning. I've got two pork shoulders actually going on to the Weber, so I'm getting up at 4 a.m. for that one.
You're getting up at 4 a.m. on your holidays to put meat on a smoker.
Yep, this is absolutely what I'm going to do. I've got a full day. It'll go on 4 a.m. I'll take it off around 3 tomorrow afternoon. I'll let it rest for 2 hours, and we'll be eating around 5:30 or so. So you know where I am.
I was going to say,
Yeah, that's enough time to get there.
I'm giving you advance warning. That's all I'm doing here. So it's supposed to hopefully be a good day tomorrow. No wind, because that makes it tough when
the smoker to keep that temperature at a constant. Yep.
Yeah. So it'll be low and slow for all day. But
we're supposed
there you go. So
we're supposed to shoot tomorrow night. So who knows what they will.
Yeah, getting back in. I'll be shooting again. I went. When did I go? I went last Thursday. I had a terrible day shooting, but I had a lot of fun. I didn't take it seriously at all. My mind wasn't in it at all. I missed easy targets. It was just one of those, let's just go have some fun. I'm not really too concerned about the level of practice, but now it's starting time. We got our next interclub on the 9th of January, and it's time to get back into the practice routines and start the breaking targets like we need to. So
yeah, right on.
We got something going on tonight.
Well, we do, because last week we had the Sasquatch, one of our Real Rednecks, come on. He's an archery bow technician. And so he came on and explained, getting into it, yada, 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 kind of tried to solve an argument between you, I, and Dad about crossbows versus compound bows. Didn't even enter into the longbow, traditional bow conversation. And then he this year, he had shot a giant buck. And so we didn't get time for him to share that story. And really, I want to hear it. I haven't heard it. Don't tell me. We'll bring it on the podcast, and then I can hear all about it. So I've not even heard the story. He messaged me the day he shot it, sent me the photo of it, and don't tell me. I want to hear it on the podcast. So this is new for me as well. So without further ado, let's bring on the Sasquatch.
Let's do it.
Hello.
Bill, are you there?
I'm here.
And Evan, Mr. Sasquatch, are you there?
Yes, sir.
All right.
How you doing, Evan?
Good. Yourself, sir?
Fabulous.
Rock and roll. Did you have a good Christmas?
No.
No? What kind of bah humbug is that?
I was sick for the 2 days.
Were you really?
Yeah, so I couldn't go to Christmas dinner or anything like that.
Oh, yes. Err on the side of caution. Blah. That sucks.
Yeah, so I pretty much sat at home by myself while they did Christmas dinner.
Doesn't that suck? And then there was probably like a whole other turkey left over because you weren't there.
Did they bring you home a Christmas dinner?
Oh, yeah, I got a plate brought home.
There you go.
I made sure of that.
A plate?
A plate. It made 2.
That's awesome.
Righto. So last time we had you on, we went through the whole Bowtech stuff, and we didn't get to talk about your giant that you shot this year. And so
we had to kind of cut her short before we got to that opportunity to hear the good story on there.
And so, now we're dying because you sent me, I was just saying that you sent me the photo the day you shot it. And I don't want to hear the story. I'd rather hear it on the podcast. And now here we are. So I have waited with anticipation to hear the story.
Interesting. You've waited a long time.
I have. It has been a long freaking time to hear this story because I want it to be fresh. But I am going to quiet my mic a little bit and be here for the comedic commentary and hand it over to Bill for the most part to ask the questions so that I don't monopolize your time telling the story because I know who I am.
Yeah. He owns it. He's got it. But it comes a point in time in every podcast where we have to do that, or else the guests don't get opportunity to talk. So we're gonna have to get Don to make sure Todd's pushed back. But anyways, So Todd was telling us on the podcast there. You had some success this year, so let's just get it started with the day and your story. I'll ask questions as we go.
Yeah, so pretty much how the day was is just like another like ordinary type of regular day for us at the shop type of thing. It was busy. It was getting the season started, right? Because the season just started on October 1st. You get the guys coming back from vacations and stuff like that, and getting guys ready to go for moose hunting or whatever. So it was a pretty busy day. Before time change goes, we only get one day to hunt a week, like during the weekday, I should say, not a week. So Tuesday, we close the shop at 5. So it gives us enough time at the end of the day to go out for a nice evening hunt. So it's kind of nice. And it was real easy that both our spots are literally like couple minutes away from the shop, so that's
don't tell people that. That's it's people a little bit too close to where you want to go. Is that something that we want to just bleep out there for that?
Well, like everybody knows who comes in the shop, they know we all hunt local. Like they know we're not far.
So up till now, have you got trail cameras that you put out pre-season?
I usually do put out cameras, but not often. Like we literally just got access to this spot literally a week before season started.
Oh, so you were kind of with what was even in the area.
Yes, so I kind of knew what was in the area just from my boss that has his trail cameras going. And if you know my boss is James at Antler River, everybody knows that he has cameras running. He shoots nothing but monsters. It's ridiculous. So it's just like we got access back to this property a week before season started. I put cameras up. Cameras weren't working for me, so I had no idea what was going on. So I'm like, okay, whatever. No bother me any. It's just like I got the worst luck upon worst luck for anything for hunting related. It's like they call you the almost guy. It's just like, yeah, I'm pretty much just a mythical creature that just so-called walks through the woods and doesn't see a dang thing. That's me.
Yeah. You gotta own who you are, though. That's just what it is.
Oh yeah, and that's pretty much how I was treating the starting of the season. It's just like I'm not going to see nothing. Like I'm not going to see nothing. I'm not going to hear nothing. I'm just going to kind of go out there as kind of surveillance. It's just like what's here. That's my whole mindset that day was going into. Just okay, well, let's see what's here. I have no clue. Let's see. And I would be lucky enough if I get a doe walk past me. That was the thing.
It'd be a successful night for you when you're going in blind like that.
Yep. So I get to the spot. I'm, of course, a couple minutes at like 5:15. And so I get all my gear on. I'm just at the side of the road. So my gear is pretty much, I leave work, go to the field. Like I don't have time to go home, do one of those descenting showers, have my stuff sitting in ozonics, like you, Todd, or anything like that. It's pretty much I leave work, put my gear on, I go. That's it. I don't do nothing special. Nothing.
Well, that'll give my brother all the ammunition he needs to continue to not do.
Happy birthday, Jay.
That's it. Congratulations. But you're tree stand hunting?
Yes, I am. I'm shooting in a blue spruce tree.
With I guess you can't use a climber in a blue spruce tree. That answers my question there. But
yeah. So I had my XOP hang on stand in there. I had no climbing sticks just because the tree that we picked was big enough, and the limbs were a perfect V all the way up. So I literally just climbed the tree like a big old black bear.
Perfect, or a Sasquatch, one of the two.
Yeah, I pretty much just climbed the tree just as is, and it was kind of nice. It makes it a lot less noisy. Don't have to worry about things hitting metal sticks or anything. It's really nice.
Yeah, works soon. So you get in.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Bill.
No, I was just going to say, so you're able to get in quietly. You got the right wind for this hunt, or you have any idea where these deer are possibly coming from?
I have an idea. So this property is divided kind of in half. There's like a big wooded section in the middle of it, and then there's like a little bit thicker tree line on the property line, and there's like a swale bedding area over there as well. So I'm like, okay, we've seen deer in there all the time and everything, and we see them coming out of that swale or coming kitty corner out of the main woods walking towards that swale. So me and James last year, when we were in there for like a week before we got kicked out, there's a whole backstory on that part, but I'll tell that later. So we put.
I like that.
We put the stand up.
When we got kicked out, that accompanies every hunting story.
Yeah. So we more or less got kicked here. I'll just quickly give that backstory then. So we got kicked off that property because the original landowner passed away. So it was his whole family dealing with the whole, my dad's passed away. Now we're going to like sever up the property or get rid of it, So it just ended up going to a separate person, and we got access back. So then we got back in there. So that was more or less, that's how we more or less got kicked out. It's because they didn't want anybody in there for liability or whatever.
Sometimes you got to give it a break for a year to let things settle down, and then hopefully, like your situation, you're able to get back in and everything worked out.
Yeah.
Not that spoiler alert here. No.
Exactly. So yeah, like I said, we got back in there, everything, nothing idea. So I pull up my truck, get my gear on, and that spray myself down with my decenter, and then I walk through this. So the field's all standing corn. So it's still corn. It's October 5th. So crop hasn't even come off yet. So to kind of help me kind of cover up me walking to my stand and a little bit kind of covering noise or whatever, even though you can only be so quiet with standing corn around.
Right.
I walk 3 to 4 rows in the corn so I can just walk the edge and walk around. But you can't, it's thick enough and still green that you can't really see me. The wind was coming from the east that day, which I like east winds. Most people don't care for east winds. I like east winds. I always see them most on east winds. So I was just like, okay, here we go. I kind of probably went in the wrong way that day than I should have. I should have came in from the north instead of the south.
Just based on where you think they thought that they were coming from.
Yeah. So, but for the time frame I had, I'm like, this is my shorter walk. I kind of took the easy, lazy way. It's like, this is a shorter walk over the longer walk coming from the north. And I came in from the south, like I said. So I do that. And next thing you know, I'm almost to my stand, and I hear rustling in the tall grass once I got by the swale. I'm like, I look, and I just see this big old rack just, I don't know how many points or anything. I just see white rack running away. Nothing blew at me, nothing. Like they didn't know what I was. Just blew at, and then just got up and ran. And all I see is antlers running away.
That's got to be a disheartening feeling. Walking into your stand and pushing out what you think maybe a big buck that was pretty close to where you were setting up.
Yeah, for like how I said, my luck, I wasn't distraught about it whatsoever. I'm like, well, that's my luck. I don't really care. I just keep on going.
Yeah.
It's just, I wasn't too worried about it. So I just continued on, got to the bottom of the spruce tree, put in my last couple of little step pegs to get my steps to start climbing the tree a little easier. And so I get up the tree, get everything settled in, got my bow up on the hanger, and then I just kind of sit tight, just kind of hanging out. I don't make any noise. Like, I don't rattle when I first get up in the tree or anything like that. I just sit there.
What time were you in? How much shooting time left did you have before the end of the day?
I got in there at 5:30.
I see. Yeah, so you still have plenty of time left before last flight, so you can see.
Oh yeah, because I've timed myself how quick I can get to my spot and back out. It takes me 15 minutes from my truck to my stand. It takes me 15 minutes there.
Perfect. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm up the tree, sitting in the stand, and I'm just sitting there, just hanging out like we usually always do. And that, you just kind of unwind for the day. And next thing you know, I think about maybe an hour's passed roughly. So it's close to 6:30-ish. And the next thing I know, all I hear is the sound of antlers hitting a branch. So I'm like, okay. Like, there must be like deer down this tree line on the property line here, making a scrape or something, marking this thing.
You couldn't see a deer at this point. You could just hear the.
Oh yeah, that's all. I couldn't. I have my window for my shooting lane out of that tree is probably about 10 feet wide. By only about 10 feet wide and about probably 8 feet tall.
That doesn't give you anxiety knowing you only have that little window?
No. Not at all.
Oh, that would drive me nuts. Sitting up there knowing that deer's got to be in that spot and I got to stop him in that spot at the right time, at the right distance. Oh, it would drive me insane.
No, because how it works is like it curls on the field edge where the corn is. It kind of curls out, and I have a big gap in between my tree and the corn. And if they like to follow that corn, they just curl and they'll go right in front of it. So I wasn't too worried about that. And I had like more of a spindly looking tree to my left that had very thin branches. So I could see through it going up that tree line, coming down the corn. But like I said, all I heard was antlers hitting branches. I'm like, okay, deer's making a scrape. And then literally within like probably a couple seconds of me hearing that sound, here he comes, just walking. Comes like popping out of like the edge of the corn, between the trees and the corn, just comes popping out. I'm like,
you didn't think about calling or grunting or anything? You were just chilling?
No, I'm just chilling. Because after I saw the antlers run away, I'm like, okay, that's kind of my night gone. So I really wasn't worrying about nothing. So I just kind of sat there.
So when you heard the antlers running off the tree, did you take your bow off and get ready to, or were you still kind of in a wait mode that you didn't think things were going to happen that
Sticking
fast?
with true to form and the large words that I've been using, were you just lackadaisically sitting there, Evan?
I sure the heck was just being a lazy bum sitting there. But yeah, like your question there, Bill, I didn't have time to really sit there anymore and kind of wait. It was literally hear the sound. There he was. It was just like, holy crap. And my bow was still hanging there beside me. It's like, as soon as I could see like the antlers and the body, and it's just like, there was no doubt in my mind. It's just like, I'm shooting this deer. Like, I see enough rack on this guy's head. Yep.
Yeah.
He's getting
heart
shot.
pounding? Were you freaking out a little bit?
Oh, heart was pounding for sure. Adrenaline's kicking in. Well, because truthfully for me, this is the second deer ever of me hunting being in shootable distance for me.
So how long have you been bow hunting, man?
8 years.
Just to give 8 years. So it doesn't, again, and I'm not saying anything with regards to the time, but people who go out first day, first time and shoot a deer, they don't have an appreciation of 8 years worth of things happening, 8 years worth of pressure and time and almost opportunities. And now you've had 2 close encounters where you could harvest an animal. And this one, is it your first buck you had an opportunity at hunting or at harvesting?
Nope. This is the second.
Oh, okay. Did you get
I got another. If you want to hear the very first story, I'll tell you after this one. It's kind of almost a kick in the pants.
All right. Well, we'll finish this one off first before we get that one. I was just trying to reinforce the fact that
way to bring up the kick in the pants. That was kind of didn't want to. It's Christmas time. I didn't want to have that happen. He has to bring you down a little bit. I mean, he gets jealous when other people shoot deer. It comes with being the almost guy.
Yeah, the almost guy, right?
Yeah. So when I tell people this is like this year when I got this deer, everybody's asking. It's like this. You've shot deer before. They think I work at this archery shop. I've shot deer before, and I'm like, no, this is my first one.
Yeah, which is so much more special.
And then they look at me like, seriously? I'm like, yeah, it's my first one. Don't get me started.
You've shot a million foam deer. Killed them dead.
Oh, yeah. I've killed tons of foam deer. That's nothing.
Yeah. But this guy comes out, and what kind of distance are you looking at for your shot?
So I was hoping, once I saw him, kind of got a better visual aid of him. I pretty much have slowly crept. So I've been sitting the whole time, and then once I get a better analyze of him, because I'm slowly reaching for my bow at the same time while I'm sitting there, unhook my bow from the trees from the hook, bring it in front, and I'm slowly standing up, all in kind of one slow motion. I'm kind of liking this spot because I'm really in the shade from this spruce tree. So I'm pretty much in the shadows, which kind of helps.
You're all covered up now. So for people that haven't hunted that listen to the podcast, at this moment, I have a feeling you can tell me I'm wrong, but your heart's pounding and everything is moving in such slow motion. You've got to reach for that bow really gently and easy so he doesn't see you. And so you're going, but you want to get that bow in your hand so fast, but you can't. You're fighting yourself. It's like a struggle. Am I moving too fast? I got to get the bow. I got to get the bow. I got to get the bow. And it's just it feels like it's an hour and a half just to get the bow off of the hanger and get it in your hand so that you're ready to rock. Am I right?
It's so true. It's so true at that point, because that's what I'm thinking. Because you're not looking at what you're doing. You're physically focused on this deer to make sure anything you're doing of movement wise, you can actually hold and freeze for a second and for him to keep going. But for me, unfortunately, the lucky thing for me, he didn't even know I was there. He came in totally upwind. He came north walking south. He had no idea I was there. And he was just doing his thing. He's just doing his everyday type of routine. So once I finally stood up, put my release on, I draw back. And I'm I pull my pin on. I'm I have my sights. Everything's ready to go. It's on him. And I'm cursing at him. I'm go to your left. Go to your left. So that way he's starting to get into my shooting window. So I'm okay. I'm cursing at him. And this is I'd say probably only 2 minute span, but it felt like forever. I'm just move. And the next thing, instead of him turning left and going following the corn, he walks straight towards me, right towards that real spindly tree with a branch hanging down with a bunch of leaves on it. And then it's just so I had to let down because I couldn't hold it drawn back no more. And I've practiced from doing tournaments and that of holding for a long time. I can hold for 2 minutes easy. But everything was feeling heavy.
Sure it is. Now your adrenaline's pumping, your body is going in overdrive, and now all you're thinking is you got to let down or else your body's starting to shake, and he just needed to take a few more steps in the right direction. He wouldn't do it.
Yeah, he wouldn't do it, so I had to let down, and he comes right underneath me. So about this time, he is 8 yards from me.
8 yards.
8 yards. And he comes right He stopped for a second, was thinking to take in the trail that goes right behind me into the thicker bedding area. But there's a tree has fallen within a few days during those big windstorms that we had. And that, so I was just like, that kind of blocked that pathway. So he kind of like, nope, not going that way. And he curled back out a little bit, and he was in the midst of starting a scrape on the spindly tree right in front of me. I made sure I had like a window for something that close. So Todd, you're getting anxiety from a 10-foot by 8-foot window. Try my window for that spindly tree at 8 yards. It's the size of a basketball.
Yeah. No. That's what, if you were hunting with Dad, you'd be in there with a chainsaw and you'd be dropping trees.
Yeah. So I had that hole about the size of a basketball, and I drew back again. I knew how far it was, and I know what I had to do for that shot.
How'd you know how far? Did you range find that spot beforehand and you just knew, or did you range find him before you drew?
No, I knew it just by looking at it.
Just from your 3D time, you could just look and go.
The advantage of 3D archery right there.
Yeah. Right there. I just knew it by looking at it, what the distance was. So I and of course, like we said last time we talked, was I don't move my pin from 20. Right? Because I have a single pin. So I didn't have time to move it from my 20 point to my 65 point to shoot that 8 yards. So I had to literally put my pin on this deer's belly, if not on the ground underneath them.
To give you the right spot.
To get the right spot.
And at 8 yards, he's quartered away from you now. So it's kind of quarter two. Yeah, okay.
He quartered to me, his head's right facing towards me. I put it right on the back, right behind his shoulder blade, and I'm like, okay, if this is where the anxious part of me got going. It's just like, this is my first deer in front of me in shooting spot. I'm not waiting no more. And I just went poof, and I just let it go. It's just like, I should have waited after the fact, but in that moment, it's just like, nope, there's my spot. I got it. And I just let her rip. And next thing you know, he just let out the biggest mule kick, and he was gone. That part happened so fast. I saw the lighted knock that I had on my arrow. I saw it, I lost it, and then I saw it again once he ran away, because it went right through him, right stuck and sticking right out of the ground.
It's the through and through shot on him.
Oh yeah, just went straight through.
Now you got the potential for good blood, because you got the through and through, and you hit him right where you're aiming, or you don't know at this point in time.
At that point, I had no clue.
Yeah,
I put my pin where I wanted it, and just with that little window, I was just like, "Yep, here we go." Followed through, did my shot. Like I said, he did a big old mule kick, like a bucking bronco, right out of the chute, and gone.
So how were the nerves once he was gone?
Oh, I was shaking. I was shaking like a leaf.
It's always funny. I find I don't get the shakes until after I take a shot. After I take a shot, whether it's on a big buck or a smaller deer, then the nerves kick in and I start to shake. But, especially it's a little bit nerve wracking when you're archery hunting and that deer doesn't drop right on the spot. Now you got all that doubt in your mind. Did I hit him in the right spot? Did I, get enough lung? Did I get enough, maybe a heart shot? How far is he going to go? Am I going to find him? And did you hear him crash?
No.
I get it both times. Well, I get it before and after. I mean, if you got time to see him coming and that, oh my gosh, it drives me insane. And then once the shot's out and you think, even if you think you did, if he doesn't drop in eyesight, oh my gosh, my mind will run away. What if I didn't hit him good? Where did he go? Do you think he dropped? Did he go 100? Did he go 200? Where? Oh my gosh. And it is everything I can do to sit in that tree stand and not get down and possibly push him.
Yeah, but where your mind goes is, do I have enough ammunition if he comes back?
No. Oh, no. I'll always have enough ammunition.
Yeah, it's because your dad's buying it. I get
it. Oh, well played, Bill. Well played.
So how long did you wait before you got out of your tree stand?
So I probably waited maybe 15, 20 minutes. Because I could watch him run for a quick couple minutes, and I could see blood coming out. And where it was coming out, I'm like, yes, I got a good shot with him. Good shot on him. He's not going to be long, and I'm good to go. Like, I was texting my boss at the time where he was hunting not that far away, and I was texting him, and I said, I just shot a buck. I'm literally letting everybody know that I know I literally just shot a deer. Like, I was going down the list and I knew just by how close he was, everything, I knew he was dead. There's no doubt in my mind. I've shot and practiced for 8 freaking years. I knew this deer was dead.
Wait for it, culminated to this moment right here. 8 years culminated to this moment.
And the pause in the recording was Todd looking that up on Google to figure out what that word meant prior to saying it.
Wasn't even my voice. It was the Google Talk thing.
And he took that little bit extra of a pause, and he's like mouthing the word without saying it to actually say it correctly.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, I was literally going down the line, letting everybody know I killed this buck, and then I went back to my boss's house and hung out the barn and waited for everybody to kind of finish up for their hunts. And then there's a bunch of us went out and we did the blood trail. Because unfortunately for other people is I am partially colorblind. I can't see blood trails.
No?
No.
That's too bad. That's one of my favorite parts of the whole hunt is the tracking post hunt, and did not have that opportunity. I was always worrying about blood trailing deer and stuff like that. I've gone on plenty of blood trails with buddies and that have gotten deer. My brother have gotten, and I'm literally the first person most people call to come haul out a deer because I love doing it. I
will keep that in mind.
I love hauling out deer. It's not a problem. I'll turn them into a backpack and carry them out whole. Like, I don't care. I'll haul them out. And that is like, I'm always willing to help no matter what it is.
So when you found,
and I was hoping my phone was going to ring tonight, that buddies that are out tonight that were saying, yeah, we got to go haul out some deer. So, but I never did get that call. So
the clock is ticking now. So the track job, at what point in time were you convinced that this was going to happen right away, or did it take a little bit? Was it a massive blood trail right off the hop, or did everything?
It wasn't that big. It wasn't that great of a blood trail, but truthfully, so my shot that I thought was perfect, it must not have been that great, because when we got there, we got to the spot. We're literally finding like a spot here, a spot there. Like, it was very spotty, like very little spots. You could find one section where it was a decent amount, and then it was just like little drops all over. I was glad that I had my apprentice Jacob with me, because his young 17-year-old eyes could just, he found the first speck that's literally probably the size of like a water droplet. And he's like, there's blood. I'm like, how the heck did you see that? Yeah. So there's about 6 of us out there for this blood trail, and Jacob found it, and we followed it for so far. Then that's when we split 3 and 3. So myself, Jacob, and my brother, we went to the tree stand to start where my arrow was, and then my boss James, his buddy Brad, and his wife Maria stayed there, and we were going to kind of meet up, but they kind of followed it from there. But he ran all through the bedding area. So he was running through thick stuff. He didn't get overly far. Like if he was running through just a plain field. Like if he ran through a plain field, he would be a fair ways away. Yeah. Since he ran through bedding area, really thick stuff, he didn't get too far.
How far did he end up going from where you shot him to where you found him?
80 yards.
80 yards.
Oh, that ain't bad at all.
That's not bad.
Yeah, that's 80 yards through thick bedding stuff.
Double lung?
Yeah.
No.
Just one lung?
It was, so once so my boss and his buddy Brad and his wife decided to play a joke on me. So they found my deer first before I did. Because we're, like me, Jacob, my brother, we're weaving all throughout the bedding area. Like James and them could watch us because we had our headlamps on and everything. It was dark. So they could see us weaving all through this place, following the blood. And then James yells at us. He's like, guys, be quiet. We just spooked them. He just got up and ran. And I'm like, getting a little frustrated. And I'm like, well, crap. For me, this is my first deer. So these guys have shot plenty of deer. So I took them literally. So I was just like, okay. I kind of goofed. I thought I did a good job. And next, so James and I walked further up. And I'm looking straight ahead of me. I'm not looking at the ground. I'm looking straight ahead of me, seeing if I can see him pop up again and run again. And then next thing you know, James acts like he trips over something. And he's like, well, did you look at that? There he is. And he's laying there dead on the ground. And I'm like, and I was more in shock. I'm like, holy crap. He's right there. And it's just,
well, then everything was a big sigh of relief at that point in time, I bet.
Truthfully, the sigh of relief didn't even kick in. I was just like, what? He's right here. And then it was more just like it was just getting super excited and everything of seeing it. And then everybody's just praising me of what a nice deer and everything like that. It was just, I don't think the relief ever kicked in. It was just a lot of like, holy crap, he's right here. And then everybody's just saying, congratulations. This is an awesome buck and everything like that.
So, yeah, I saw pictures of that deer Todd sent me. And I tell you what, that is a good deer, not only for your first year, but a good deer in general.
Oh, heck
so
yeah.
The fact that it was blind, it was a blind hunt, and to have that guy walk underneath it, man, that's actually,
he's a big size 9-point buck.
Yeah.
9 points.
9 points.
Yeah, I'd have shot him.
I thought about that. I was like, yeah, I'd shoot him. So I did.
Yep. I wouldn't have hesitated. He'd have been down. It's not even a buck to hesitate on.
And that was the thing for me. As soon as I saw him, I saw the body and then I looked at his head. And I'm like, yep, there's enough antler on that head for me. It was just like, here we go.
Yeah. Now, would you have shot it if it was a 6-point? Gone 8 years without getting a deer in range. Would you have shot him? Would you have shot a 6-point? Be honest with me now, Sasquatch.
Oh yeah.
See, and yet you get a monster walks in. My gosh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I would have shot it. I would have shot anything with a decent amount of antler on his head. Like even if it was like a good 2-year-old buck that was a nice 6-point or whatever. For me, I was just like, I need to get something. I just need to shoot one. Like I need to get one finally under my belt, get the pressure off my back because I've put so much pressure on myself to get a deer each year. That was the best part. Was as soon as I saw him dead, it was more or less, I felt the sigh of relief coming off my back. It's like, I finally have done it. It's been a long road. And that, like, I've talked to even Scotty at your house, Todd, a couple of times. It's just because Scotty's like, I don't know what I'd ever do if I never got a deer within like the first couple of years. It's like, I'd probably give up. And I'm like, Scott, I've gone so far 5 years without a deer. He's like, seriously? I'm like, yep. He's like, geez, you're braver than I am. He's like, I would have quit.
Well, that's the love and the passion for, not quitting before you get the job done. And I wouldn't, it's the same thing for me. I would never quit. And if that deer was a 4-point, a doe or whatever, if I had a tag for it in my pocket and he presented an opportunity, I would for sure take that deer.
Yeah. And that was the thing for me. It's just like, he's the second deer ever to be in shooting range for me. After people are just like, well, how long have you been hunting for? I'm like, 8 years. So it's like, have you been picky? Have you been holding off? It's just like, no, I just haven't had the opportunity, or if my locations and that haven't been the greatest for anything of producing anything in shooting range. It's just how it's been. My first year, I had another monster buck walk. I rattled him in right along the week before rut. I rattled him in. He walked right across the creek, walked about 25 yards in front of me. So I'm a new shooter. This is my first year ever bow hunter with this hunt. My first year. I just got married that summer, got a bow, practice. I could hit 20 yards, no problem, but I wasn't quite comfortable enough at the 25 and 30 yard mark. I could shoot them, but I wasn't quite confident enough with my shot at those yardages. And next thing you know, I get this monster of a buck, walk it about 25 yards, and I had to, adrenaline against kicking in, all that fun stuff, and I had to sit there and watch him walk away because I was not comfortable enough taking that shot. He literally walked around, got my wing, blew, and gone. And that was the first and like the last until this year of a shootable deer in distance for me.
That's awesome. I offer you the congratulations on a job well done. That's for sure.
Well, thank you, Bill. I should be actually getting them, I think, back from the taxidermist. I think here, I would think shortly, if not in a couple more months here.
Wicked.
Because I took them there pretty much the week that I got them. I took them down to Josh at True Life Mounts in Tilbury. So.
Well, I'm anxious to see pictures of the mount when it's done.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I have to make the pedestal for it because I'm doing a pedestal shoulder mount, so I'm building the pedestal for it.
Right on.
Look
so
good.
I got to make that up still. So.
Well, we definitely appreciate you coming on and telling your story.
Yeah, that was awesome.
No worries.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Sasquatch.
No worries. I got all jacked up again telling it this way.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times I've told
before, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how many times I've told this story at the shop to customers and stuff like that. And that way it was always like the quick and short stories. But then, yeah, this one kind of going back through it all, getting a little more detail. It was just like, yeah, you got all jacked up again. It's just like, hey, here we go. Let's go again.
You only got about 9 more months to wait to relive it, so it's all good.
Yeah.
Well, I'm all ramped up now for turkeys now. I love turkey hunting. Truthfully, I prefer turkey hunting over deer hunting.
Yeah.
It's less work.
Yeah.
Not for me, it ain't. I find it's more work for turkey than it is deer for me.
No, I do too much. I make too big of a deal out of deer hunting. Turkey hunting, I don't take it as serious, so it's less work for me. It's just go sit in the bush. Shoot a big old Tom. Not to sound cocky or arrogant or anything, but I mean, they just seem to fall in my lap. I don't know.
Right, yeah. And that's the way we end podcasts, typically.
I like it. Yeah, I think we should. But that was awesome. I appreciate you coming on, Evan. That was a wicked story. Love it. 8 years and then nails a 9-pointer. Friggin' awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, you take care, Evan. It was nice talking to you.
I'm going to wish you a happy new year.
Yeah, happy New Year's to you, Bill.
Thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. And
yeah,
we'll have to have you back on again.
Oh, friggin' right.
Yeah.
Right. See you next time. Evan. Awesome.
See ya.
Take care, everybody.
Yeah. Thanks, Evan.
Right.
Thanks, Bill.
Goodbye.
Yep.
And that'll do it for this week, folks. For the Redneck Country podcast, I'm Bill, the Almost Guy Tom.
And I'm Todd. Thanks for listening. And folks, if you want to be part of the podcast or you want to give us some feedback or really contact us about anything, feel free to email us at podcast@theredneckcountry.com. Again, that's podcast@theredneckcountry.com. Thanks for listening. Talk to you again next week.